Hi there, I'm Ted Biaselli, Vice President of Programming and Development for the Hub Network and the host of What's the Hubbub, an exciting web series where we bring our talent and answer questions from you. Now, before I introduce my guest, I'd like to show you a clip of this Saturday's season finale of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, airing Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, only on the Hub Network. Get nice and comfy. I know I will. And we'll see you in a bit.
Saturday on the blockbuster season finale of My Little Pony.
Every pony will bow to my will.
A brand new bad guy comes to Ponyville.
I know just the princess who could stop him.
Now Twilight Sparkle must heed the hero's call.
Twilight?
With help from an unlikely ally.
They should make me an Alcorn princess.
Don't miss the My Little Pony season finale. Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, only on the Hub Network.
Discord! Here with me today, as you can tell, this is a pony day. Here with me is the voice of none other than Princess Twilight Sparkle herself, Miss Tara Strong.
Thank you.
And the co-executive producer of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, Miss Meghan McCarthy. I am so excited to have you guys here. This is like a big event. This is the season 4 finale of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Now, before we start, what do you think the big thing on everybody's mind is going to be next year?
Gosh, I think in 2015, probably the hottest trending hashtag is going to be MLP Season 5.
What?
Because Season 5 of My Little Pony is going to be coming to the Hub in 2015.
Only on the Hub, people! Only on the Hub Network. Awesome. We have a ton of bloggers ready to ask you the hard questions.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
I hope so.
This is going to be out of hand, by the way, guys. These two are insane when they're together. First up, we have a long-time listener, first-time caller. No, this is Tori Michael from the TV Mom. Awesome. Hi, Tori.
Hi, Ted.
How are you?
The shirt.
Right? Dr. Hoobs.
Dr. Hoops for the win.
What's your question, Tori?
Okay, so my question's actually for Tara, and I'm starting off with, I always love asking people who do voiceovers for cartoons, what parts of Twilight Sparkle's character and personality come from Tara?
Well, obviously how beautiful she is. And how intelligent and what a great leader
Vice
she is.
President of Programming and Development for the Hub
You know,
Network
I'm
and
not
the
quite
host
as
of
much of an
What's the Hubbub,
egghead,
an exciting
but
web series where we
I
bring
do sort
our
of
talent and answer
like
questions.
to help my friends and take a leadership role and make sure everyone's taken care of. And I think there's a lot of Twilight in me in terms of how she really makes sure everyone's okay and tries to find the solution to fix all the problems, and sort of liked by everyone, even though she may not be like the most popular girl in high school that you'd think of, but everyone just kind of loves her. It's me.
Do you have a friend in every single circuit? Like, are you the Ferris Bueller of your work?
Yeah, and I kind of was in high school too.
Yeah.
Like, I was always a performer and an actress and a singer, and I was in that group, but I always remember being nice to everyone, like always hated any kind of bullying, which is great to be part of a show that really focuses on friendship being magic and anti-bullying. And that was definitely me in high school. I could say hi to the nerdiest kid who's like now the executive, so everybody be nice to the nerdy kid.
She's talking about me, people. She's talking about me.
But yeah, so that's me and Twilight pretty much.
Awesome. Nikita Stevens from Nikki's Random Musings. Hi, Nikita.
Hi, Ted. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
My question is for Tara also. What's your favorite episode in season 4?
Oh, probably the finale. It's kind of exciting. You'll have to see it this weekend.
This weekend.
It's just big. You guys like to do things big when you do finales.
We do go big.
So it was fun, and it was fun to have Discord back in our world, and a lot of crazy stuff happens that I think people will be like, oh, you know, people like film people watching it going, oh, like that. It'd be good, yeah.
Well, before we go on any further, all of you back there in blogger sphere, you're all going to be asking a ton of questions about My Little Pony season 5. Well, don't, because we're not going to divulge anything else. We're going to seed all that information out over the course of the next year. But so if you have any questions, ask them about season 4, ask about the finale, ask about how they got to these positions. But let's keep all the My Little Pony season 5 questions when we're ready to reveal them. How's
I could
that?
give a big spoiler.
No!
It's going to be really cute.
There will be ponies. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Maybe.
I'm in it.
Maybe. These aren't really spoilers.
She wrote it.
Next up is Nancy Basile from About.com. Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm sitting here with the pony ladies.
No kidding. My question is for both of you or either of you. So much wonderful music has come from the show. Is there something that you daydream about when it comes to music, like a Broadway performance or a live
That's for
performance
you, for sure.
Comic-Con, or a special soundtrack?
With each individual episode, it really is kind of what the story is in that episode. We don't always know there's going to be a song in an episode until we start figuring out the story. And then whoever writes it usually does have something in the back of their mind, whether it's a show tune or a pop song, but putting it into this world of pony. So a lot of times in the script itself, we will reference a style of music to give our composer an idea of what to listen to before he kind of gets started on writing.
And they're all so amazing. I mean, the Flim Flam Brothers song is
That was definitely influenced.
I still walk
by
around
Miss
singing
Cole.
that, by the way.
It's a good
It's
one.
so
It's
awesome.
a good one.
Next up is Josh Steen from Just Us Geeks. Hi, Josh.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Groovy.
Awesome.
I'll just say that I enjoyed the Weird Al episode, so there's that.
Who doesn't love Weird Al?
Yeah.
That's right. My question is actually for Megan. Megan, it seems that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has a fan base that is somewhat double-sided. As the writer, what are some approaches that you take when writing important episodes, such as the season finale, when both sides of this fandom can react so positively and negatively? I'm guessing you
good
don't write
question.
specifically for one or the other.
That is a good question.
Great question.
I think the thing is that when we go to write this show, we are thinking first and foremost about the characters and what the characters want and what the characters would do, and that is 100% what guides us as we're telling stories. If we try to guess what different members of the audience would like, we would guess wrong with somebody because people like different things. So we really try to stay focused on the emotions and the journey of the characters themselves.
That's the best answer.
People
'Cause-
do get mad at you a lot, right?
Sometimes people express if they do not like something, they let you know about it.
Happens a lot. Right?
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. I'm really lucky that I have these amazing characters and amazing actresses and actors who bring them to life, and so that's really where I just try to keep my focus on that, because again, if you try to guess what people are going to like, you're not going to tell the story that needs to be told.
It's the truth. And, you know, to that point, there was a lot of kerfluffle online when it was revealed that Twilight was going to be a princess.
Yes.
There was a lot of kerfluffle.
People
But
were
I think
really mad at you.
in now that we have gone through a season, the first season where she is now lived as a princess, and the stories that were told, I think you guys both brought such a great sense of that underlying story of, am I ready for this new position in my life? Which is so relevant to so many people as they go through life, both kids, adults. Is it the first day of a new school? Is it all that stuff where I'm now thrown into this mix? Am I ready for it? And I think that you've done a masterful job. And I think now the fans, hindsight 2020, everybody's like, oh, that was so good.
Well, and also that's because of what Megan said, where they write it true to the characters. And so people said to me, like, are you going to change anything? I'm like, no, she's still Twily. Would you change how you treated someone if they suddenly looked differently or something happened to them or they changed the word, or they're still the same person? And so we really kept true to who the characters were with the writing and the acting, and that's why I think people also gravitated towards it.
That is true. Next up, we got Nathan Young from Geek, Alabama. Hi again, Nathan.
Hello, Ted.
How are you?
I love that. Doing good. I love that shirt.
Isn't this the greatest shirt in the world?
Yeah. Doctor Who and My Little Pony had some of the best fans in the world, so.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
you have a lot of people live tweeting new episodes on Saturday mornings, and a lot of the writers and producers also participate in the live tweets. Do the people working out behind the scenes of My Little Pony enjoy the people tweeting out their likes and dislikes and suggestions for the show?
I think it's really fun. I mean, it's kind of like virtually watching the show with the fans. It's exciting. I mean, the first, for the season premiere, I think we trended internationally, which was just insane to me that many people, but that's kind of the show itself is so much about community that that's sort of what community is in our world now. And so to think that many people are sitting there watching this show on the Hub together and talking about it and sharing their feelings and thoughts about it, I think it's really exciting.
Takes me 2 hours to get through an episode because I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, pause it. Okay, play. Okay, wait. Thanks, Nathan. Kelly Knox from Geek Mom. Hi, Kelly. Hello, Kelly.
Hi, can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay, good. Hi, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining us.
My question was for Megan. I was curious with the locked box and the season premiere and the Equestria games mentioned throughout the season. Do you plan the entire season in advance? Because it felt like that this year.
With this season, we definitely had a bigger arc that we wanted to explore, that we knew we would set up in the very first episode and that would ultimately pay off in the season finale. And also that it was going to be built around a very specific theme. Hopefully everybody sort of picked up on what that is with our sort of key episodes throughout the season. So that was an arc that we had planned out right from the start. And same with Equestria Games, we knew kind of how it was going to map out across the season. We didn't know, it's not until you get in there and really start writing the finale that you know exactly how everything is going to play out. But there was definitely a plan. Or we would have been in big trouble if there was not.
Are there things that you wish would have gotten into this season that didn't make it, that you're holding for next season? Don't give anything specific away. But are there those kind of moments that you think, we just couldn't get to it this season?
There's a couple things, that we just had so much to cover with this season because of this sort of season-long arc. But yeah, there are a couple things that we had to push down that we will definitely be seeing in season 5.
There, that's all you get. Susan Simon from Susan's Disney Family. Hi, Susan. Hello, Susan.
Hello?
There you are. Hello.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
Good.
We're doing good.
What attracted you to voiceover work?
Well, I knew when I was like 4 or 5 years old that I wanted to be an actress and a singer, and I used to perform in front of my kindergarten class. Like, I really knew back then. And I grew up in Toronto. My parents were not in the business, so they didn't know anything about getting into the business, and I kept bugging them to get me an agent, which they finally helped me do when I was 13. And my first animated audition was for the role of Hello Kitty, which I booked. That was my first job. And at the same time, I booked a bunch of on-camera and theater. And in Canada, you sort of get to do everything. But literally, Kitty was like the start, and the rest is history. I did Beetlejuice and Care Bears and My Pet Monster and all kinds of crazy shows that were, runaway production in Canada before moving here in '94. The big earthquake was my second week. But it's just been such a joy for me. I mean, every role that I've booked has been some kind of legacy, amazing character, and I'm really so blessed because I have so much fun in what I do. I mean, we have so much fun. It's crazy that we get to do it every day, and just lucky. But I sort of did fall into it. I didn't know when I was 4 that I was going to do cartoons. I just knew that I was going to be performing any way I could.
And you obviously are very, very talented.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Next up is Beeb Ashcroft from bblog.com. Hi, Beeb.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good.
My question is for both of you, and I would like to know, what is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you at a fan convention?
Keep it G-rated.
Well, the very first one that I ever went to was BronyCon with you.
Where we kidnapped a brony.
We kidnapped a brony.
Now, the federal government definition of kidnapping?
Actually, yes. Maybe.
No, we were at the airport and he was on our flight. And then we got to the airport and we had a ride to get to where the convention was.
I think he geeked out a little on the plane
He geeked out
first.
because we kind of walked by and we saw us. Yeah, and he was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so we were like, yeah, that's us, and we're just going to this convention. And he said he was too. And he got there, and his friend had either missed a flight or whoever was supposed to give him a ride didn't. So we were like, we're kidnapping you, and we're taking you.
Oh my gosh! And tell me that he did this the whole time.
Well, he definitely called his friends. Like, guess who I'm with? Hello, dear Princess Celestia.
Yeah,
oh my God! Today we kidnapped a brownie.
So that was pretty good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Only in America.
I had a fun one this past convention. I had a couple of bronies with really great pony tattoos, and there was a tattoo artist at the con, so they wanted to get my signature, and then it's signed immediately. And then there's like one really hot army brony and one like really cool biker dude, and I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, that's forever though, right? That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's amazing. Tom and Karen from Examiner.com. Hi, Tom and Karen.
Hi, it's Karen. How are you both guys doing today?
Good.
Okay, so from one of our readers, Robo, will the show continue to be targeted for younger audiences, or will the show grow along with its original audiences?
I think that the characters themselves don't age.
Just like the actresses.
And writers. So the types of stories that we'll continue to tell they'll be the stories that we've been telling. I mean, the characters do evolve. They do learn things. We are taking them on a journey, but sort of the tone of the stories, the messages of the stories are going to stay where they are. The show will grow and evolve, but it will keep that, what really kind of makes it pony no matter what.
And I think that to that point, one of the reasons that My Little Pony has done such a great job transcending audiences is because it is clearly intended for the audience of children. But there's things in there that are sophisticated and smart that keep adults coming back to. Yeah. So the show is intended for kids 2 to 11 and their families, but there's a lot in there that's peppered those universal themes that keep adults engaged
like
too.
The Big Lebowski animated in the background.
Like Doctor Who. So I have a text from Tonya Miller from the fantastically named Unorganized Mommy of 3 blog. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. It's from Cynthia. Hold on one second here. It's from Cynthia. The text is, where do you pull your inspiration from when writing My Little Pony? And what type of pony would you be writing if writing yourself?
Ooh, that's good.
What would be your element of harmony?
Yeah. Well,
you already have a cutie mark.
I do have a cutie mark. It's a typewriter, which I always explain is like this device that people used to use to write things on. Because the kids, they don't know.
They don't know typewriters.
They don't know. And for inspiration, I mean, it kind of comes from everywhere. Again, we have these great characters who are very three-dimensional and have interesting lives, and so it's pulling from that. It's pulling from life experiences of things that I've learned or things other people have learned. About how to interact with people or not how to interact with people.
Which is something we all need to learn, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, going back to the idea of the age of the audience, like, I think we all like to pretend that we mature, but we don't. We're all just trapped on the planet 8th grade. Cannot get off. So yeah, inspiration just kind of comes from real life. And then if I was a pony who I'd be writing for, I think I kind of have a little bit of all of the main 6. I can be definitely the kind of bookish nerd that Twilight is, and I did an episode where she's freaking out because she didn't write a letter to Celestia and kind of misses a deadline. And
a great episode, by the way.
Write what you know.
So I have some of her. I play soccer, so I'm like Rainbow Dash. I love my family like Applejack. So I'm kind of a mixture all of them, I think.
I love it. And apologies, that was from Cynthia Griffin at thehollywoodtimes.org.com. That is actually the best name. I take that back. hollywoodtimes.org.com. That's great. We've got another question from Tori Michael. Hi, Tori.
There we are. Hi, Ted.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so this question's for Megan. Megan, this year you had Weird Al on, and it was fantastic. In your ideal world, what other guest stars would you love to write a pony character for?
Oh, golly. I'm just trying to think what celebs would be BFFs with me.
Tara Strong.
Besides yourself. Beyonce? Might be kind of cool just because I think we would be tight.
Her pony name would be Bootylicious. What would her cute name be?
It would be a booty.
It would be
a booty on a booty.
Yeah.
Booty.
That would be kind of fun just for me. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a question. Which came first? Did you guys write Cheese Sandwich and then cast Weird Al, or did you guys say we're going to get Weird Al and we're going to write an episode around him?
Jason Thiessen, who kind of is our director, and it was kind of his original concept. It was Weird Al. That when he said, "Here's the character," he said, "And it is Weird Al." And crossing our fingers, that's who we actually get, because it was written for him, and then luckily he agreed to do it and just knocked it out of the park.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome. We have another question from Josh Steen. Hi, Josh.
My question is for Tara. Tara, this has absolutely nothing to do with ponies. It's not pony related at all. One question I always try to ask everybody we interview, whether they're geek related or not, is what do you geek out about?
Oh, right now I'm big Game of Thrones geek outing, big time. And, I've got young kids, so I usually miss, the Sunday night and have to catch it the next day on demand. And last night I fell asleep in the middle. I'm big into binge watching that stuff. So probably if I saw any of that cast, hey, you could bring them on the show. A little Khaleesi pony might be kind of fun.
Someone actually drew my OC, my pony that is designed to look like me, as Khaleesi, and it's Khaleesi, Mother of Dragons, and Spike on my shoulder, and me in the blue. It is kind of the most amazing thing.
Wow, I think I need one of those.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's amazing with Spike on it.
Yeah, and then when it comes to celebrities that I've worked with, when I was younger, I really was obsessed with The Little Mermaid, and so when I moved here and I booked Melody, which was her daughter in the sequel, I got to work with Jodie Benson in the studio, and I burst into tears. She's like, "Are you okay?" I've just loved you for so long. So I totally geeked out with Jodie Benson.
That's a great story. I love hearing that, because that puts people. There's a little perception that there's the fans, and then there are the people that make the content. And when you hear that from people who make the content that they love things too, that was a great question, Josh, because it really does. It makes you like, oh, they're people like that. I have a text question from Mike Dodd from This Week in Geek. Mike asks, Megan, will we see more of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and how will they develop as the show moves forward? No spoilers.
We will see more of the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I love them. I think they're great, and they obviously have some things that they're missing. So we'll have to continue to see them try to figure out who they are.
So the answer to your question is yes. The Cutie Mark Crusaders, one of the things I think there was a lot of. At first, there's always that, this is the Scrappy-Doo. It's coming. It's coming. They're trying to force cute and young and little and and then you guys turned out characters that just everybody grabbed their hearts because they're so amazing, and they embody that whole, we're going to make it after all thing.
They're great, and I love the relationship that's developed between Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo, that sort of big sister that she doesn't have the same way that Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle do.
I love that.
It's so cute.
I have another question from Nancy Basile at About.com. Hi, Nancy.
Hey, This is a question for Tara. I'm fascinated by voiceover actors and actresses, and I'm curious, is there an episode so far that was really difficult for you as a voiceover actress, whether it was hard on your voice or it was because you were playing everyone in the room and it was a rapid conversation?
You mean in Ponyland or in general?
Well, Ponyland or in general, if something comes to mind.
Well, it's never like insanely vocally taxing on Pony. So those aren't the hardest, although they can be a little wordy. Now we're going this way. It's the way that we should go. Let's all go this way, guys. I say this way is the way to go. Can we put that into one sentence, maybe?
No, she wants to make sure it's very specific.
But when you talk about vocally taxing, video games can be very taxing because when you're booked as a voiceover artist, you're booked for up to 4 hours. And typically with an animated show, you're with a full cast, but a game, you're just by yourself. And inevitably, like, can we have 20 death sounds and we have 40 punching noises? And by the end, you're like, can I have my voice back? You know, it kind of wipes you out. But there's never been anything like so harsh on my voice. The only like character that was hard to maintain was probably Terrence from Foster's Home, which of course Lauren Faust and I also worked on together because he was just so like, loser, like all the time, like mean.
I didn't even know that was you.
That's me. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, to the video games. Tara and I actually, side story, one of my very first shows that I ever worked on was Superhero Squad, and I walked in the room, and it was like the legends of the voiceover business, and Tara Strong is sitting there, and it was amazing and incredibly intimidating. But when you do a video game, it's like beating yourself up. You are throwing yourself around the room. You leave in a puddle of sweat. It's exhausting.
And you want to do a good job because with video games, I find a lot of the fans feel like they're in it with you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to like phone it in. You know, you got to keep your energy up the whole time and not disappoint the fans. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
We have another question from Nathan Young. Hi, Nathan.
Hello again. My Little Pony has diversified. We have a Crustier Girls now. And we noticed this Crustier Girls 2 is coming out later this year. Is there anything special we should look forward to in that movie coming out?
I like to say it's the Empire Strikes Back of the Equestria Girls movies. Just because I think everything just gets kicked up a notch.
Twilight loses a hoof.
But yeah, I just think that...
Rarity, frozen in carbonite.
Yes. That would be awesome. Someone draw that. But yeah, I think it's just everything sort of gets kicked up, and the music in it is...
The music is amazing. It's amazing.
Pretty awesome.
Not saying we know what the music is or anything, but it's amazing.
Some club remixes.
It's true. It's totally true. Now, when you first got the idea, or when it was first discussed about, here we're going to take the characters of My Little Pony and we're going to make them humanoid. What was your first gut reaction to that?
I mean, I think, when a lot of us were kind of approached about it, we just were unsure, like, how we would make it work.
And people got mad at you.
And it's usual, people got mad at me. But then I think once we really realized it's going to be the same, the personalities and the character types and this type of storytelling that is so part of Pony, that it was going to continue that, then we were like, let's get into this and let's have fun.
And are there things that you feel like you can do more or differently in Equestria Girls than you can with Pony?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some relationship stuff that is a little different because they're in high school, because they're dealing with, they're a little older.
They have hands.
They have hands. The animators were, it was like their favorite thing. They're like, they can just pick things up whenever they want to. Like, we don't have to figure out how to move this stuff around. So yeah, see, there's some stuff that we can do. And part of the fun is how do you bring the magic of Pony and Equestria to a high school setting. So like in the first one, you kind of take this typical high school experience and how do you give it high stakes and magic.
Now, not to ask you to choose between your children, but do you like one more than the other?
I mean, Pony, I have a big, I with this, like season 4, I had 26 episodes.
It's your older child.
It's my older child. So it's just a little bit bigger playground because I have a lot of stories I can
If you
tell
had 26 episodes of Equestrian Girls,
oh my God.
You got the stories in there, in you? Yeah?
I might have the stories in me, but God, my family would like to see me occasionally, you guys.
I have another question from Kelly Knox, the Geek Mom. Hi, Kelly.
Hi. This question's for Tara. You mentioned that your video game work is usually solo. Don Delancey said at a convention that his work for My Little Pony is usually solo too. For you, do you get to work with the other actresses when you record for My Little Pony?
Yes, I do. I'm flying up for an episode in 2 weeks. And sometimes I have to phone patch certain things because I am in LA and they're there, but I love working with them as a full cast. There's nothing better than when you're doing an animated series to play off each other, because when someone says something that their delivery is a little surprising, then you react to it or you copy it, and it's more fun to. I always prefer a full cast record.
It's like old radio plays. They're fun. I have another text question from Cynthia Griffin at thehollywoodtimes.org.com. She asks Tara, if there were a My Little Pony prince for Twilight Sparkle, who would you want to do the voice?
That's a good question. There's such good questions today, Brad Pitt.
That was really easy. No thought of that at all.
Can we get him?
Well, let's see. Hold on. I'm calling William Morris right now. Just make sure. I have another question from Susan Simon at Susan's Disney Family. Hi, Susan.
Hi, I have another question for Tara. She mentioned all of the great voice acting she's done in the past and all the great characters. Does she have a favorite character that she's done?
Well, for sure, like my dream come true job was the Mermaids. When everyone asks me what's my favorite job I ever booked, I say The Little Mermaid too. But I also had a tremendous amount of fun doing the Powerpuff Girls and Batgirl, and we have crazy fun doing Teen Titans. It's such a great cast, and Fairly Odd Parents and Harley Quinn. It's, like I say, like every role I've booked has been such amazing. So that's actually a good clue to casting people. Book me and your show's a hit. I mean, every character I've done has just been so
iconic.
I don't know. I couldn't really pick a favorite after Mermaid because that was like what I always wanted to be. And then after that, they're just all so fun and different. Like every character is so different. People often say, do you ever confuse the voices when you're doing them? And I say no, because once you create a character, they sort of live up in your head and come down when it's time to play, and they all have their own personalities and their own identity and their own ways of saying things or laughing or chewing or sneezing. Like they really become an entity that lives up here. So I'm kind of crazy.
You must be great at a dinner party. Just you.
That's all you need.
We have a question from Joe Strike. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, hi guys. Hey, listen, you're talking to an unrepentant brony here. And that's sort of what I want to talk to you about. I don't think anyone expected this show to get an adult audience separate and apart from the parents of the kids who are watching. I suspect that took you all by surprise, and I'm curious, how you've responded to that. Let me just say, like I see Ted wearing a Dr. Hooves shirt. There would not be... No, that's okay. I have a friend who
unrepentant brony here too.
Yeah, okay. Well, obviously, Dr. Hooves would not exist as a character if it wasn't for the fans. The fans picked up on the cutie mark, the hourglass, David Tennant, blah blah blah.All of a sudden, you have a character
Pony, I have a big,
Hooves.
with this animated series to play off each other, because when someone says something that their delivery is a little surprising, then you react to it or you copy it, and it's more fun. I always
another text question from Cynthia Griffin at thehollywoodtimes.org.com. She asks Tara, if there were a My Little Pony prince
and I was like, what? You got,
who would you want to do the voice?
And I think it was like love at first tweet. And I just fell in love with them because they're so genuine and sweet. And, we raised over $100,000 for a little girl with a brain tumor last year. And Bronies for Good are constantly doing things to raise money for all different kinds of charity and help kids that are being bullied and really rally for each other. And I've often heard people say I had no friends until My Little Pony, and now I've got friends all over the world. If someone's nervous to go out or they're shy, and then they have this community online that it's created, and they call me the queen of the Brodies online because I just adore them and think they're so funny. And I was just saying the other day that like Twitter is best play date because you throw out any game and everybody plays. It's just so fun. So I was definitely surprised, but pleasantly surprised. We definitely love our bronies.
I totally saw it coming because I have the site. It was it was a surprise. But then once you hear people talk about the show and what they like about it, then you're like, yes, of course, because it does have these great messages. It does have a sense of community, and it does have great art and music that inspires other people to create. So once it kind of started going, you could really understand it.
It transcends. It's the kind of thing that, again, it's out there to make great content, and great content is appreciated by all sorts of people.
Yeah.
I think I remember a very early conversation when we first started the network and we were first developing Pony, and Lauren said, I want to make a show called My Little Pony that boys will watch. And
she did.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
Beeb Ashcroft. Hi, Beeb.
Hi guys, Tara, this question is for you specifically. I was just curious, when you're out and about doing your day-to-day routine, do you ever just burst into the Twilight Sparkle voice to surprise anybody?
Well, I did the other day at the Coffee Bean because there's this really cute little girl in line by herself, like waving her dollar in the air. I don't know what you can get at the Coffee Bean for $1, but she was saying
you get foam.
Yeah, and she looked a little nervous. I'm like, are you by yourself? I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, but meanwhile her dad was kind of in the corner, and I said, do you watch My Little Pony? And she said, yeah. I said, I'm Twilight Sparkle. And I never done.
Dear Princess Celestia, today there was the cutest girl in line at the Coffee Bean. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle.
And she's like, it's pretty good.
This was in Hollywood, by the way. They're a little harder to impress out here.
I will say that myself, along with every other voice great, tend to burst into silly voices for no reason. And then through that, when you hang out with us, that happens.
Oh yeah. We went to dinner with you and some of the other cats, and I was like, have they spoken in their normal speaking voices? And
At all?
Not. No,
please test us. We don't really know our normal speaking voice.
I know what Tara sounds like.
It's funny because Nikita was going to ask a question. Do you just happen to break that voice out? So you answered her question. Karen at Examiner.com. Hi.
Hi. So this question is for Tara. What character trait do you find most annoying or frustrating in Twilight Sparkle?
Most annoying. She talks really wordy. She talks a lot. It's a little frustrating. She could wrap it up, make it a little condensed.
No, that would go against who I see her as a character.
We're having creative differences here.
Differences, people.
Go to black. Something wrong with your screen.
That's a good question, though, and a nice segue. Do the actors ensemble, do they come back at you and go, Rarity would never say this. Oh, this isn't a Fluttershy moment, Megan. Do they contribute to the direction and the characters? And do you let them? And do you go, do it as I wrote it?
I'm not there for the records because Jason, who's our director, is there. And if that's what's happening, he doesn't tell me either to save my feelings.
I will say something if something's a little off.
But I think that happens because we don't do any kind of table read with the writers in the room.
You know what you could do? Like read it out loud, and if it sounds wordy,
I do that.
Cut it down a little.
But I can't do it in the funny voice.
We've got to get it to 21:30, though. By the way, we have formats that we have to abide by.
But because we don't have a table read with everybody there. We don't have the same opportunity to hear it, up on its feet, so to speak. And if when they're in the record and she's.
But I will say that she's got it so down. I mean, they write so well for us. It's very rare, but once in a while they'll be like, she wouldn't say it quite like this. Can I do it like this? And it could just be like the delivery is coming out wrong or something's not sounding quite right. And everyone's always very accommodating. No one's like, Megan will get very mad if you
because I think we all want what's best for the show and
Equestria.
And for Equestria.
For Equestria! There's, when you finish a script, okay, and you send it on out to all the different parties, and there are a lot of parties that have to weigh in on this. I don't know if you guys are aware, there are multiple stakeholders in My Little Pony. You have the brand team at Hasbro, you have the Hasbro Studios, you have the Hub Network, you have all these people, you have standards and practices that all weigh in on this, and then the notes come back. What do? What's the next process for you? It's your Real Housewives moment.
The thing is it's kind of like I don't write for a living. I take notes for a living. But in a good way. I don't really mean that in a bad way. I'm kind of used to it. That's part of the job is that everybody's going to weigh in, and I have to sort of either think about, okay, everybody kind of shared this same opinion, so clearly this was not coming across the way that I wanted it to, or there can be notes that I disagree with, and I'll push back on, or just ignore.
Wait, what?
What? No.
Wait, what?
Did I say that out loud? But it's part of the process. If you're not, if you're too precious, then being a TV writer is just not for you. Because you have to it's a process, and the script is a blueprint for the next thing that's gonna happen. So you have to be able to let things go. You have to be able to listen to what other people think, and be able to read between the lines on things.
5 seasons in, I think we're working pretty well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's obvious if the end result was something that I was like, oh, this didn't turn out the way I wanted at all, then it would be hard. But it turns out the way that it's best. So.
That's great. We have another question from Nancy Basile. Hi, Nancy.
This is a question for both of you. If you had to choose between the ability to fly or being able to do magic, which one would it be?
Didn't we just see you at a convention last weekend?
I would fly.
But if you could do magic, you can make yourself fly.
I guess. I guess
With
I can
great
pick
magic
stuff up.
comes great responsibility.
That's true. It's true. I'm not ready.
Mike Dodd from This Week in Geek had a text question. He wants to know, what's the strangest gift you've ever been given by a fan?
Does it have to be pony related?
No.
I got a goldfish in a bowl from a Fairly Odd Parents fan.
You're like, now I've got to care for this.
We get a lot of toys and plushies and things people make.
Yeah,
most of it's not weird. Most of it is like
awesome,
mind-blowing how talented these people are.
We have a carving that's a wood carving that someone did of our pony. I think you have one as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like
a wood carving.
Yeah, it's amazing. And somebody did a paper craft of my OC pony.
Oh, I got one of those. Did you get a paper craft?
Oh my gosh, it's
those are good. What do you do with them?
I have a whole. When you walk in my house, you must just think I'm so obsessed with myself. Because I just have this like kind of display of things of my OC that people have made for me.
That's great, though.
When the guy gave me the paper craft, I like teared up because it was like,
you saw the work that went into that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wonderful. Josh Steen at Just Us Geeks has another question. Hi, Josh.
This question actually came from Twitter, so I will ask it to both of you. Which character do you feel needs the most work or help? I hate how that's phrased, and it's not my question, but I thought I'd ask it.
Which character needs the most work or help?
Like done physically? Because Triley does not need anything done. She looks great.
Gordon needs a lot of help.
Gosh, that's a tough question.
Who isn't self-actualized?
I think they all have somewhere to go. I know people have been talking a lot about Spike and his character, and I think there's a lot more to explore with him because he's sort of the youngest, and he's kind of a kid, so he has a little bit more growing to do that I think we haven't quite explored as much as maybe some of the other characters.
And when the characters don't have a place to go, then there's not a show.
Yeah.
So let's keep that for as long as we can.
Yeah.
Tori has another question.
I do. This is actually for both Tara and Megan. What are your favorite non-main 6 ponies?
That's a good question. Favorite non-main 6?
Let's see. I like all the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I like Princess Luna. She's pretty cool, and she's got kind of cool powers, like being able to go into dreams and stuff. I think is really cool. And then non-pony at all is Discord, because he's just fun to write for.
Amazing to write.
Because he's so cool.
I like Discord too. I think John Delancey does such a good job. He's so good.
Yeah.
God, he's good.
He's so good in the finale too.
Yeah, he's
so good.
He's so big.
Nikita has another text question. If you guys have one word to describe the season finale, what would it be?
Awesome. Ponyrific.
Yeah. I feel like we throw the word epic out a lot when we're describing stuff, but I so mean it this time.
That's what came to my mind, actually.
Like I'll always be like, it's epic or whatever, but oh my gosh.
It's big.
It's big.
It's big.
So
It's a
much
big finale.
happens, and it's tying up a season's worth of stuff.
And it sets up a whole lot for
Yes,
next season too.
it does.
It's good stuff. Good stuff in the house. I have another question from Nathan Young at Geek Alabama. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, ladies. There's been 4 seasons of great episodes. So, for both of you, what is your favorite episode we have seen so far?
Oh, that's tough.
I have 2, and since I've been making fun of Megan quite a lot today, they happen to be the 2 that she wrote, like by herself, all by herself. I love Lesson 0, and I love the wedding episode, and those are both you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and they weren't too wordy, which was nice. You know, you kind of curtailed yourself a little bit.
I did. I was really editing. Those were actually really fun episodes to write, and that and Party of One, which is the Pinkie Pie episode, just because when I'm writing a scene where Pinkie Pie is talking to inanimate objects, and I was like, they're never gonna let me do this, and they did. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, talk about Pinkie Pie for a second, because she's exuberant.
That's a good word.
People, everybody, they identify with their character. Everybody's like, oh, I'm such a Rainbow Dash, or I'm such a rarity. Dash is sort of the character that I love, but I think I am Pinkie Pie. So when you write for Pinkie Pie,
do you think of him?
I do.
What's the first thing that comes to your head? How crazy can I make this character?
I mean, what's fun about her is that it all makes sense to Pinkie Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she actually knows way more than anybody else. Like, she actually is the most on top of it. But she just has such a unique way of looking at things and expressing things. So that's kind of a little bit of the approach.
That's not me. Never
How
mind.
can it be sort of crazy and wild, but sometimes, but kind of deep down, she is actually.
She's got it together.
She's got it together.
I love that. That's not me. I have another question from Joe Strike.
Hey, hi again.
really
Megan,
cool.
this is for you. Can you hear me out
and
there?
then, non-pony
Hello?
at all is
Can you hear me?
Discord.
It always happens with that guy.
Yeah.
1 second, Joe. We get a second audio feed when we hear you. Hold on 1 second.
I'm here. Hello?
There we go. There we go. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. I can hear me too, I guess. Okay, Megan, I wanted to ask you, do you enjoy putting in references for the bronies, references to pop culture references? I know in the time travel episode where Twilight asks her future self if there was some great pony war, and that was like a direct reference to some major piece of fan fiction. So I guess you keep an eye on what the fans are doing and work things like that into the shows. Am I correct?
I don't think it was a reference to a fan fiction because we're not allowed to read it. It might have just been a coincidence. But a lot of the references, like with the background ponies and stuff, that's stuff that's not scripted, because if we put all those references in a script, it would be 5,000 pages long and no one would read it.
I would.
But so a lot of that kind of stuff you see will be when it goes to the board artist. They kind of throw that fun stuff in there, and I think it's as much for them as for the, you know what I mean? They get a kick out of it. Everybody that works on the show is kind of a pop culture geek, and so it's to make ourselves laugh and to sort of surprise ourselves. In the episode that just aired with Inspiration Manifestation, Rarity and Spike have an exchange that is from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a famous quote from that. And that was super fun to be able to put in because the theme of the whole episode is similar to that.
There's a couple good ones in the finale this weekend, too. There's a really great one with Discord. I have another question from Beeb Ashcroft. Hi, Beeb.
Hi. I was just wondering how much of the dialogue gets improvised in the studio?
Really little. I mean, I'd say almost none. Like we said before, if there's something that's not working or there's like a word that might feel better, then we'll do it. But typically we stick very close to the script because even though she looks nice, she's really, really mean and violent.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I'm afraid sitting this close, actually.
We usually don't put them together very often.
This is rare.
So that's a nice segue to this next question. If you guys are all, if you could write your own episode, what would you do?
Wow. I'd put our OCs in there, and we'd run off together and join Cirque du Soleil. And then we'd join Game of Thrones, and I would hang out with Khaleesi. Should we do it?
Done.
You're gonna read that tomorrow online. Somebody will have written that for you.
Yes, exactly. Get on that.
I have another question from Karen at examiner.com. Hi, Karen.
Hi, I'm just trying not to laugh from the last question. This is a good question. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is for both Tara and Megan. How would you like to see the characters change as they develop through the series?
I don't want them to change too much because I love them as they are. So it's really more about how the experiences that they have and seeing how they'll approach kind of just some unique scenarios that we haven't done before. But I mean, they can't change too much, or they'll stop being the characters that we love. So yeah, that's tough. I don't want them to.
Do you want to see Twyla get married? Have babies? No?
It could be cute little ponies.
I mean, they would be adorable. Don't get me wrong, they would be adorable. But that, for me personally, that's not like.
That's not where you want to go?
That's not necessarily where I want to go. Because I want to keep. I mean, I think that experience doesn't relate so clearly to a younger audience.
It's true.
Hopefully. Be kind of weird. So yeah, I mean, I kind of like that we can keep her having experiences that have that universal element to them, but also still stay within the realm of something that
you guys have done a great job evolving the characters over 5 seasons, and I think a lot of shows sometimes don't do that. They kind of stay with what works and they keep it going, and then eventually it just stops. Cynthia Griffin on the HollywoodTimes.org.com had a question about. It's a harsh question for me to say, but not all things last forever. This show will end at some point.
What?
What would you like to do after this?
We liked her before that.
What would I like to do after?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, take a nap.
Okay. All right.
A really good nap.
Don't you want to do like the Game of Thrones animated series and cast me as Khaleesi?
Yes.
I'm trying to think where we could put that on the schedule.
Animated game, yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
See?
Yeah.
I just gave the world such a good idea. As long as I'm Khaleesi, I'm fine.
It would be so funny. It would be like Scooby-Doo. We'd have to make Sansa and Arya are like Shaggy and Scooby. It would be amazing. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for coming and playing with us today.
That's great.
Thank all of you guys for asking wonderful questions. Again, this is What's the Hubbub. Don't forget to tune into the 2-part My Little Pony Season 4 finale this Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on the Hub Network. Thank you so much. Have a good night.